My grandfather Francis Schooten married Lucia Kuter in Holland in 1954. They lived happily in Holland for a number of years before the birth of their first daughter Martha. Although they were happily married, the socialist government meant they were given little opportunity to do well. Francis, along with his many brothers, were builders and took an opportunity to move with their families to Australia under the Netherlands-Australia Migration Agreement in 1959. They packed up their belongings and left in search of a better life, leaving many of their relatives behind. Their journey began on board the ship Grootbeer and travelled via Egypt to Melbourne. Francis and his family then flew from Melbourne to Tasmania and began their new life in Launceston. The brothers had all worked together building each other's houses until all houses had been built. Finally, the 5 brothers had all built a house in the same street in Launceston. After migrating to Australia, Francis and Lucia had 3 more children, Elizabeth, Lucy and Peter. Francis continued his labouring work in Launceston whilst his children attended a small Catholic school nearby. Later, in 1969, Francis, Lucia and Martha went to the Launceston Town Hall for a naturalisation ceremony which declared them Australian citizens. This was a great moment of pride for all that they had worked to achieve by coming to Australia for a better life. Francis and Lucia brought many Dutch traditions with them that have continued throughout the years and onto the generations of their children and grandchildren. They continued the Dutch tradition of leaving their best clogs or shoes out for St Nicholas on December 5th to either place coal or a present in, depending if they'd been good or bad. They also took the grandchildren to St Nicholas parties at Christmas time. Pakisavond, translating to Packages Evening, is a Christmas tradition usually celebrated on St Nicholas Eve on December 5th, where the whole family celebrates with a Christmas feast and the opening of presents given out by Santa. To fit in with Christmas in Australia, Francis and Lucia moved this tradition to Christmas Eve in 1975. This is where it has stayed ever since. Lucia, or Alma as she was affectionately known by her grandchildren, was Santa at each Pakisavond and was in charge of handing out presents under the Christmas tree. After her passing, the role of Santa has flowed through the female line to me for a number of years, her eldest granddaughter, and then to her other granddaughter Heidi. The traditional enjoyment of Dutch food has also continued through eating oliebollen, a sweet dumpling eaten on New Year's Eve, speculaas, a spiced Dutch biscuit that was an important purchase when travelling to Holland in 2012, and much to many others discussed, Dutch droppies, known in English as a very salty licorice which has been described as tongue-numbing by many foreigners. Enjoying these foods with the family are some of the strongest memories I have of growing up and celebrating my Dutch heritage. Although both Francis and Lucia passed away over 10 years ago, the Dutch spirit, traditions and hard-working nature have continued on through the family. For my mother Elizabeth, a trip to her parents' original house in Holland was a must when she visited in 2010. For my brother Nelson and I, we were the first grandchildren of all the Dutch brothers to attend university. Whilst the family unit has expanded over the years with new partners, the tradition of Pakisavond still continues to live on and be one of the most enjoyed and celebrated evenings of the whole year. For my Dutch family, Pakisavond is a celebration of not only Christmas but our Dutch heritage and everything that makes us who we are today.